Hi, my name is Kevin Ahearn, the creator of the iFAStTRAC 101 Real Estate Training Program. I want to thank you for your interest in the program and your desire to learn more about it. Since I created FSBOs over 30 years ago, I've had the honor of training hundreds of thousands of agents across the United States and Canada. Amongst other things that they learned the importance of being proactive, especially when it comes to prospecting and lead generation. In addition, they learned also that they must assume the responsibility of being what they are, agent entrepreneurs. They were also introduced to the importance of working on their business and not just working in their business, so that ultimately they can experience the essence of working smarter rather than harder. By the way, if these guiding principles sound interesting to you, you're going to love your participation in the iFAStTRAC 101 program. By the way, after viewing this overview, if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. I can be reached at 407-331-5738. Once again, that number is 407-331-5738. See, I think the best way to describe what iFAStTRAC is, and it's a mouthful, but it really does define the essence of the program. It is a comprehensive, space-trained, production-oriented, how-to continuity training program. And by virtue of the way I designed it, it paints a detailed picture, step by step, if you will, as to what agents need to do to both survive and thrive in the real estate business. The target audience for iFAStTRAC 101 are agents that are new to the business and agents that are somewhat underproducing. When I talk about agents that are new to the business, these are agents that are in the business, actively so, 24 months or less. Underproducing agents, the way I define that, these are agents in your office or yourselves perhaps that are doing less than 8 closed transactions and are earning less than $40,000 in personal gross commission income. See, you will, if you happen to be a broker listening to this overview, you will see that typically these two groups comprise 60 to 75% of most agent rosters. There are a total of 12 sessions in iFAStTRAC 101. Each of those is divided into 2 parts and typically comprised of multiple videos. Each session is designed, however, as a standalone, allowing participants to start at any point in the training cycle. In addition, each session has a handout which participants are expected to complete as they participate in each session. Each handout contains session assignments, as well as tools and exhibits, and also access to supplemental videos associated with the topic of the video. The session assignments, by the way, are designed to help participants immediately apply what it is that they learn in the program. Upon completion of each session, participants are asked to complete a short quiz as verification of participation in the session. And upon satisfactory completion of all 12 sessions, participants will be awarded a certificate of completion. In session number 1, we divide that in half. The first part of the session is devoted to creating a better understanding of the real estate business from the perspective of being an agent entrepreneur. The second part of session number 1 deals with goal setting and planning. In session number 2, we will devote the entire session to the all-important topic of time management. In session number 3, we begin our first of 3 sessions devoted to prioritize proactive prospecting and lead generation. In the front part of the session, we will talk about we will introduce what we call the prospecting funnel and warm canvassing. And we will also address integrated open houses, how to promote them, how to host them, how to follow up on them. And in the second part of session number 3, we will talk about integrated target marketing and farming. In session number 4, we'll continue our discussion of prioritized proactive prospecting and lead generation and devote the first part of session number 4 to an in-depth discussion of how to go about productively working for sale by owners. In the back end of that, the second part of it, we will talk about how to go and expedite and follow up on integrated, just listed, and just sold promotions. In session number 5, we will wrap up our discussion of prioritized proactive prospecting and lead generation by addressing expired listings in the front part of the program, and at the back end of the program, how to go about laying the foundation of ultimately building a referral-based business. In session number 6, we're going to devote the entire session to a discussion of working the buyer side of the equation, introducing participants to buyer pre-screening, evaluation, qualification, and counseling. In session number 7, we will start our discussion of what we call, what most of us call, the listing presentation, but for reasons yet to be explained in that session, I happen to refer to it as a marketing presentation. We're going to divide that into 4 different phases, and in session number 7, we'll in detail discuss phase number 1 and phase number 2 of a well-orchestrated marketing presentation, followed up by session number 8, where we will finish our discussion of the marketing presentation by introducing participants to phase 3 and phase 4 of such an event. And then in phase number 9, we're going to devote the entire session to a topic that most of us are well aware comes up in each and every presentation that we make, and that's pricing. We will introduce in that session to participants how to go about controlling the pricing strategy. In session number 10, we are going to devote the entire session to what I call one of 2 inevitables, that being objection handling. Right off the bat, we will draw a distinction between conditions, stalls, and real objections. We'll even redefine what objections are and introduce in that particular session the participants to a unique and very effective 7-step technique for handling most stalls and objections. In session number 11, we are going to address closing and closing power. Not only to close to get the buyer to make an offer and maybe close to get the seller to hire you to represent them in the marketing and sale of the property, but also how to close in particular to get the appointment. I think for most agents, that's the biggest closing challenge they have, is actually getting the appointment. And then we will wrap up the program in session number 12. We will divide it between the front part of it, how to go about presenting offers to the seller, and in addition to that, at the back end, dealing with the second of those 2 inevitables, what we call negotiation, also negotiation power. I will go on to tell participants in that session that honestly, as a practitioner for over 35 years in this business, I can count on one hand or less the number of times offers that I have written up, for instance, on behalf of buyers, have been accepted the way that I wrote them up. We always seem to have to negotiate something, so we've got to learn how to prepare for that inevitable and do a better job in that particular situation. Now, that pretty much summarizes the 12 sessions of iFAStTRAC. I certainly want to thank you for taking the time to view this overview. And once again, if you have any questions after looking at the overview, please don't hesitate to contact me. Once again, I can be reached at 407-331-5738. Once again, 407-331-5738. And again, thank you for taking the time to look at this overview.